Hanoi is one of the most hyped cities in all of Southeast Asia, but is it really worth it? I've spent a month here, dodging scooters, eating my way through the city and testing out some of Hanoi's best and craziest experiences. And by the end of this video, you'll know whether Hanoi deserves your time, your money, or your skip list. And there is one experience that completely changed the way I see this city. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's talk about how I felt when I first arrived. My first thoughts were, okay, this place is going to be chaos. And at times it is, but it's a beautiful kind of chaos. The old quarters feels like someone hit shuffle on Google Maps and turned up the volume. Seriously, crossing the road here is like playing real life Frogger, only with scooters instead of cars. But after a few days here, it grows on you. The energy, the food, the history. Hanoi is gritty, it's authentic, and nothing like the polished travel influencer version of it you see on Instagram. But it's not just all about the charm. Hanoi does have a few tricks up its sleeve as well. So let's look at transportation and getting around, because this city does not come with an instruction manual. Can you walk around Hanoi? Kinda. The sidewalks are technically there for walking, but in reality they're used for parking scooters, cars, and for restaurants and cafes, they're just an extension of their seating area. When it comes to taxis versus Grabs, Grab wins by far. Taxis, you do have to be careful. Sometimes they forget how to use their meter. And there's also Zan SM, which is a new app just similar to Grab, but it's all electronic vehicles, and they use the VinFast vehicles, which is the Tesla of Vietnam. And how's the traffic? Well, it's a vibe. It's like a slow-moving parade of horns, buzzers, and crossing the road. You definitely have to watch your step. And if you're up for a bit of an adventure, use Grab bikes. They're fast, they're cheap, and they give you a front row seat to the madness. But getting around is just the beginning. Next up, we have probably one of the things that you're most excited about, and maybe even a bit nervous. So let's look at the food and coffee scene here in Hanoi. Let's be honest. Food is probably one of the top 3 reasons that you're even thinking about coming to Vietnam. And in Hanoi, it's everywhere. And the must-tries are bun cha. It's a pork dish with a sweet sour soup with some fresh noodles, herbs, and lettuce. Then, of course, there's pho. You can't come to Vietnam without trying some nice beef pho, especially if you're coming around winter time or in the cooler months. It's a great way to start the day. And of course, there's fresh spring rolls, quite often with pork or prawn or both, some fresh herbs and some fruit. And it's just delicious with a nice dipping sauce. And another thing you have to try is the egg and coconut coffees here. The coconut coffee is great ice. It comes with a blended ice version. It's really nice. And the egg coffee, it sounds weird, I know. It's like a liquid tiramisu, frothy, sweet, and not a gimmick. Trust me, you'll order again. It is very common to see burgers, pasta, pizza on the menus here as well. Plenty of Western food, and of course you've got Chinese, Korean, Indian, and Japanese food. And even Mexican food is common in Hanoi as well. What's overrated? Beer Hoi Street. It's sitting on a little stool on the side of the road drinking cheap beer. It's a vibe, it's fun, you've got to try it, but it is a bit overrated. If you're looking for some beer with flavor, check out many of the local craft breweries, especially in Tay Ho, where you've got the Pasta Street Brewery and Hanoi Cider and Beer House. But while the food is amazing, one tourist hotspot left me feeling like, is it all just Instagram hype? So let's look at the tourist attractions. What's worth it and what's a waste of time? What's worth it if you can get down to Hong Kien Lake at sunrise, or catch a sunset drink at a cafe in Westlake. And the old quarters, it's chaotic, messy, but it's the soul of the city. While there's plenty of temples and museums to check out, one that stood out was the Temple of Literature. It's a great history lesson, plus it's surprisingly chill compared to everything else. When it comes to Train Street, it's complicated. Technically, it's closed to tourism. Some cafes and restaurants might still sneak you out the back. It does come with a minimum drink purchase to be able to sit there, and it's okay to experience it once, but once it's over, it's just everyone standing around with their phones out. But even with all this cool stuff, is Hanoi still as cheap as people say it is? So next up, we have budget and cost. So is Hanoi still cheap? In short, yes. But when it comes to daily budget for backpackers and solo travelers, you can start in the ballpark of $20 to $30. For your mid-budget travelers, so these are digital nomads, holiday couples, retirees, you'd be looking at $40 to $80 per person per day. And for luxury, you can ball at just $150 per person per day, but to be honest, it's not necessary. A street meal can cost you anywhere from $1 to $2. A grab ride across the city, $1.50. Hotel accommodation can start as low as $15 to $30 per night. Is it still great value? Absolutely. But prices are starting to creep up, especially in tourist hotspots and nicer cafes. Still, compared to places like Bali or Bangkok, it's a bargain. But before you book your flights, how does Hanoi really stack up against Vietnam's other big hitters? So Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, it's faster, louder, and more modern. Hanoi does feel older, but it's more cultural and it has a lot more history with deeper roots. Saigon has a lot more big skyscrapers, shopping malls, and rooftop bars. Hanoi has a lot more temples, lakes, and traditional street life. Da Nang, on the other hand, is cleaner, more modern, and it's a city right on the beach. Da Nang is perfect if you want chill beach vibes, but you still want to be able to explore a city. The skyline is sleek, the cafes are trendy, and it feels like Vietnam's up-and-coming coastal hotspot. Where to stay in Hanoi can make a huge difference. Depending on what you're looking for, one spot is going to be way better than the other. So let's look at where to stay in Hanoi and for how long. Hanoi can feel like two completely different cities depending on where you stay. Old Quarter is packed, noisy, and chaotic, but you're right in the middle of everything. It's best for first-timers and short stays. You'll hear motorbikes honking even in your sleep. Westlake is quieter, expat-friendly, and much better for long stays or remote work. Trendy cafes, less touristy, and fresher air. 2 to 4 days is ideal for sightseeing and exploring the city. If you're staying longer than that, it's best to stay at Westlake and enjoy the expat life. When it comes to remote work, absolutely, Wi-Fi is really fast in Hanoi, with lots of cafes that have Wi-Fi and co-working spaces. And one bonus is egg coffee is a great productivity booster. But who is Hanoi really for? Some travelers will love it, but others should skip it. So who is Hanoi for? So first up, your solo travelers and backpackers. Absolutely. There's lots of backpackers, hostels, and activities. It's easy to meet people and very budget friendly. It's quite safe to walk around even at night, but you do have to keep your wits about you. For digital nomads, especially in Teho area, there's lots of cafes where you can plug in a laptop and get your work done. And internet is perfectly fine here as well. No problems with accessing internet, especially at these cafes. Everything's pretty high speeds. For couples, if you like culture and food over spas and beaches, then yes, Hanoi is for you. If you want a more relaxing or romantic escape, then I would recommend Sapa or Nimban as well. For families with kids, Hanoi is going to feel a bit hectic, but with museums, parks, and puppet shows, it helps. For retirees, Westlake offers a nice, slower paced, little less crazy than the rest of the city, but be warned, the chaos downtown can be a bit much. But before you book your tickets and pack your bags, You should know there is a right time and a wrong time to visit Hanoi. So timing your trip in Hanoi can be everything because it can go from magical to miserable real quick. The best times of year to visit Hanoi are autumn and spring. So spring is from March through to April. So spring is actually the best time to visit Hanoi. You've got flowers in bloom, clear skies, the locals love it and you will too. Autumn is September through to November. Here it's cool, dry, and crazy beautiful, and it's a great time for seeing sunsets over Westlake. Summer is from May through to August, and it's just hot, humid, and wet, and you can expect rainstorms that just appear out of nowhere. So winter in Hanoi is cold, grey, and randomly foggy. In wintertime here, you'll need a jacket and some warm fur to keep you going. There's also an air quality warning. Hanoi at times can be one of the worst places in the world for air quality, especially in wintertime here and getting into the start of spring. Air quality here can be really bad, like you can't see the skies bad. If you are traveling here during that time, then bring a mask and stay near Westlake for some better air quality. But even if you pick the best times to come, there's still some things that can wreck your trip. So let's talk about the stuff that no one really tells you. The common complaints and reality checks of being here in Hanoi. There's overpriced taxis, especially from the airport, fake Grab drivers, and some accidentally overpriced food menus in popular tourist areas. The dong can be confusing at times. You'll hand over 500,000 when you thought you were handing over 50,000, and the cashier will pretend not to notice. So you do have to be careful, double count your money before you hand it over and double count your change when you get it back just to make sure you're paying and receiving the right amounts. There's some overhyped places, like there are temples here where you have to actually pay to get in. And when it comes to Train Street, it may or may not be open to tourists, and it often comes with a minimum purchase of a drink at an overpriced cafe just to enter. So just be mindful of that. It's not as open to tourism as it used to be. But if you can survive that chaos, there's some amazing escapes nearby. One of the best things about Hanoi is it's your gateway to some of Vietnam's most amazing locations. Halong Bay, which has iconic limestone islands. It's much better to do the overnight luxury cruise than to do a rushed day trip to Halong Bay. You do have to be a bit careful with some of the Halong Bay cruises. If you're going for mid or budget, then you can expect it to be a bit of a tourist trap. And then there's Ninh Ben, which just think Halong Bay but by land, with lots of rice paddies, lots of culture, and just amazing attractions. If you're looking for an epic mountain escape, then Sapa is another option. It does take 6 hours to get to Sapa, so it's worth it if you're going to stay a couple of nights at least. The fog there can ruin your view, but if you catch a clear day, then it's unreal. But if you're up for adventures, then I recommend Ha Giang Loop and Ban Joc Waterfall in Cao Bang. And of course, there's the combo trip. So if you're going to Ninh Ben, you can easily add Halong Bay. If you're going to do Ha Giang Loop, you can add Ban Joc Waterfall and Cao Bang to it as well. So if you want to combo those into your itinerary, it's really easy to do so. But now the question that you've come for. Is Hanoi really worth it, or is it all just hype? If you want authentic food, wild cultural energy, lots of history, and a base for some amazing side trips, then Hanoi is definitely worth it. But it's not for everyone. If you hate noise, chaos, and the occasional scam, then Hanoi might just test your patience. After a full month here, the side trips are definitely worth coming to Hanoi for. But what truly won me over with Hanoi is how affordable luxury is here. If you are looking to spoil yourself, then luxury 5-star hotels and luxury experiences are quite within the budget of most travelers. So if you want to spoil yourself without breaking the bank, then Hanoi can be a great opportunity to do that. Hanoi can just hit you in a single moment. Standing in the fog, beer in hand, watching scooters zoom past Westlake, something just clicks. Hanoi is messy, but it's real, and that's what sticks with you. Let me know in the comments. Will you be visiting Hanoi or skipping it? If you want more honest travel videos on Northern Vietnam, check out my deep dives on Ninh Bình and Sapa right here. And hey, if this helped you, give it a like and subscribe. I'm traveling all around Southeast Asia and sharing what's actually worth it and what isn't.